Hello, my name's Brenda. I'm a patient of Dr. Aliya's, and I've been taking her cold laser therapy treatments for a month or so now, and I'm very pleased with the results. I've had some serious chronic health problems for many years. I had a stroke 7 years ago that just added to my problems. I already had lifelong problems with IBS, with chronic fatigue, and also with fibromyalgia, which I've had for 10, 15 years. I did have some success with my own efforts, dietary changes, um, exercise plans, generally overall good life health practices. I did have some success, but not enough that would be able to that it enabled me to get out of the house. In fact, I was housebound for much of the last 7 years because of those problems. They all seem to be interconnected. IBS, gallbladder problems, digestive problems, sliding hernia, stomach hernia, and everything just seemed to get progressively worse. And that actually it turned out to be a blessing because I actually found Dr. Aliya working at a local walk-in clinic here in Victoria. Um, and just from her ability to really hear what my problems were, what my experiences were, and my frustrations. And she was able to recommend some very simple changes to, I already was eating very healthy food, but I kept getting worse. But she suggested a few minor changes to my diet, which within 4 days really solved a lifelong problem with IBS. And because of that, then the other problems with gallbladder problems, indigestion, acid reflux, they all just fell away in rather quick succession without any medications. I'm very, very lucky. I hate taking medicine. The only thing I take right now is a baby aspirin every day as stroke prevention. And so the first 2 weeks of treatment, after 2 weeks of treatment, I had the most sudden and amazing surge of physical energy and feeling more alert. It was literally after 2 weeks. And I never had that happen in 7 years of my own. Really, I tried really hard to get well. My job the last 7 years that I've been off since my stroke, my job, full-time job, was getting well. And so from 8 in the morning till 8 at night, it was about self-care, proper diet, proper hydration, swimming when I could get to the pool. I was very tired still, but I would get to the pool. And walking and good spiritual health and mental health practices all went to bring me to a point. Like I said, I had improvements from those efforts, but there was this lasting deep chronic fatigue that I could not shake. In fact, even after all of these efforts, which I was very pleased with the improvement. Don't get me wrong, I was very pleased with the improvement. Is after two weeks of treatment, I had the surge of energy. The other problem that Dr. Aliya solved for me prior to the laser light therapy was that she diagnosed that she suspected I had a problem with a food sensitivity to eggs. She suspected that, and lo and behold, she sent me off for blood tests, and it came back that I had a sensitivity or an allergy to eggs. And until that time, I could not keep my eyes open past by 11 o'clock in the morning after a good healthy meal, and sleeping well. I would just be done for the day at 11 o'clock in the morning. On good days, I could last till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but it was very frustrating for me. But she solved that problem. So I already knew that she was a good doctor. She didn't push pills my way. So I really liked her that she was all about trying natural things, which I had always tried to do myself to get well. So I knew she was trustworthy. I trusted her, and she solved a lot of my problems. The other problem that I'd had, as I mentioned before, was IBS. It was so severe that I could not leave my house, basically housebound. And when I went to see Dr. Lee about this issue, I had seen some changes and improvements in the IBS symptoms, but then it suddenly got so bad that I actually thought I was dying. I actually thought I was going to end up in hospital having surgery. And I actually wanted to have surgery because I was in so much discomfort and symptoms were very scary. And I went to her and she said, I want you to try just adding this ingredient to your diet. It's psyllium seed husk. And I did, and within 4 days, all of those severe symptoms had gone. I still had discomfort. It was still very scary, but I just added this to my diet. I was pureeing all of my food. Like I would make a chicken dinner with the vegetables, and I would just run it through a blender, thin it out with water, and warm it up as soup. And I would do that with all of my meals. I did that for almost 2 or 3 weeks because I was still having problems. But after a whole month of my efforts and what she'd asked me to do, all of those symptoms were gone, like forever gone, like forever. I'm sitting here telling you that her recommendation was what I needed. It was the final piece of the puzzle for me to overcome IBS. And of course, everything else associated with it just fell away. The problems with acid reflux disappeared. Gallbladder problems disappeared. I feel great. I feel so good. So I would recommend, as you do your own research, watch the videos, go online and find out more about the treatment and how it was developed. It's backed by NASA. The Olympic teams use it so that they can train harder, and the recovery time is shortened significantly. So this is not some new science fiction thing. This is the real deal. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. But actually, I could talk for hours about it because I can't say enough about it. And the day that Dr. Aliya told me I had to eat more butter, that's the day I thought, you know what, I'll do anything you ask me to do if it helps me get well. So I'm very pleased, and I would encourage anyone to consider adding this to your toolkit of health. Um, well, your health toolkit, you have to want to get well. You have to want it. My job, like I said, from 8 in the morning till 8 at night was getting well. And I've added this. I consider it an investment in myself. You know, if you don't get to the root of it, which that's always been my motto, and I was thrilled when I saw that that's actually Dr. Aliya's tagline on her logo is, get to the root of it. Because if you don't get to the root of it, it's like these health problems, it's like a big, ugly, poisonous plant that's growing. And if you just keep chopping off the leaves, they're going to grow back. You see the little buds sprouting. Even if you remove them, more are going to be growing because the root has to be dealt with. The root has to be pulled out. It has to be killed at the root. And so I just think it's awesome. And I'm so pleased because this has given me hope back that I can actually work again. I haven't worked in 7 years because of all of these problems. The other thing I should mention is the stroke resulted in me having a lot of difficulty concentrating and remembering and learning. I can learn things, but literally by the time I turn to do the task, I've forgotten the sequence of the steps, or I've forgotten steps completely. So it's very difficult for me to succeed in any job because you have to follow instructions. You can't keep looking at sticky notes on your computer or keep asking people how to do it, or even if you have a procedures manual, you can't keep looking at that. So, but I've discovered that with further treatments, focused treatments on my brain, on my head, in recent weeks, I noticed an improvement in my ability to concentrate. I've noticed improvement in my ability to learn and remember and retain information. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but improvement is better than getting worse, and improvement is better than staying the same. And it's not staying the same. I feel that there's improvement in that brain function. So anyway, Dr. Aliya is a very kind and generous, very intelligent person. Um, she really cares about people getting well, and the team, Tahira and Michelle, the technicians who apply the treatments, are just the same. They're awesome. She has a great team, and Justin is they've been all just so very kind and generous to me, and I appreciate their efforts very much. So I would recommend anyone who wants to improve their health is to give this a try, because for me, my personal experience with laser light on my gums worked, and laser light, I believe it's bringing more healing to me. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.